Would you like your own bespoke labels in your garments? Watch this video and I will show you how. Hi, my name's Sam and this is Frugalisama, my channel where I talk about all things sewing. And today is day 26 of 100 days of sewing. And I'm going to talk about how to make handmade labels for your makes. But first of all, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far. Thank you for joining me if you're new. If you would like to subscribe to see more videos like this, click the subscription button or click the bell for notifications of new videos. I'm currently videoing during the week, Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays on the 100 days of sewing, and on a Sunday I will be doing pattern reviews, plans and makes and that sort of thing. So on to today's video. I was working on Simplicity 8180 and I wanted to put in a special label. It was for a friend's husband's 50th birthday, and although I do have labels of my own, I did want something that was bespoke and one-off that celebrated his actual birthday. And after much trawling through the internet and YouTube videos and all the rest of it, I came upon several different methods that are combined together to come up with these labels. So I thought it'd be useful to show you my process and then you can make your own. These are useful for either if you're only wanting to put labels in one or two garments and you don't want to order 50 or 100 or whatever the minimum requirement is for label makers, or if you want to put something one-off and bespoke in there, like a little message or washing directions. And you can use them for anything as well. It doesn't have to be garments. If you're making handbags or any little gifts or anything that you sell, making to sell, maybe at craft fairs or something like that, and you just want to make them that little bit more special. I quite like the Kylie and the Machine ones, and Pink Coat Club do them as well. So like witty little sayings and things like that. Pink Coat Club have got some of hers and they're woven labels. So these are done by heat transfer, and this is the heat transfer sheets that I used. Bought these on Amazon and I will leave a link below. There's no affiliate link at all with these. You know, this is just what I used. And I transferred them onto some twill tape. This is twill tape that I used for mine, and this is just 2-inch width. And I chose to use this because you can just fold it in half like that, and your edges are finished, so you're not leaving a rough edge. And you could obviously cut it. I don't want to cut this because I'm not going to be using it just yet. But if you cut it across there, these raw edges will be encased inside probably your collar or whatever it is you're making, and these edges are finished, so you've not got any rough edges. Some of the tutorials that I saw were using cotton, and they were quite specific about what kind of cotton that you used, and they were pinking the sides, which, you know, if that's what you want to do, you can do that. But I just quite liked that this twill tape was finished. You can get this in different lengths. So if 2 inches too wide for you, or if it's going to be too bulky, you could perhaps use some cotton ribbon. This transfer paper is, I mean, you can use this for, it's got on the front t-shirts and bags and that sort of thing. They're A4 sheets. So you can do anything, any design up to the size of an A4, and obviously, as you can see, you can do it in colour. It just says you need a printing substrate such as a t-shirt, a canvas bag, apron, and it just says cotton. Now on the back of here, there are some quite good instructions on how to get the transfer onto your substrate, but it doesn't tell you how to go about getting a design and all the rest of it. So I thought it would be useful for all the information to be in one place. So that's what I'm going to do for you today. And On top of your whatever you're printing onto and your transfer paper, included in that is some silicone paper, and that just helps you to press it in the design into your label. So you don't need that extra, that's already included in this. There are a myriad of these transfer papers available, but obviously I can only speak or vouch for this particular one. And it does say here that it's for an inkjet. So if you've got a laser printer, this is probably not suitable for you. And again, I don't have a laser printer, so I can't test whether it's going to be suitable or not. On top of that then, you will need an iron and a solid surface in which to press your design onto your label. It specifically says don't use an ironing board, and I think that's because you've got a little bit of give underneath. When you've got an ironing board, you've got your ironing board cover, and it's probably not solid enough underneath. So I actually put a towel on top of my work surface and did it that way. I wouldn't suggest that you did that if you were doing a lot, because my work surfaces certainly are laminate. They're not marble, and a lot of heat it could potentially cause the laminate to bubble. So I wouldn't advise that. I've seen people use an upside down skillet. Obviously that would need to not have any ridges on it. So maybe a block of wood or something like that. It suggests the floor, but I mean, I wouldn't want to be ironing on my floor neither. So that's all you need really, and you just need to have a design in mind. I will share my screen of how to do a design. If you don't need that bit, I will put timestamps into this video for you, but please remember that if you've got any wording on or any design that is one way, or it matters which way it is, you need to flip your design, and that took me quite a while to fathom that out, how to do that on my particular setup. Because I have a MacBook Air and I don't have Word installed, I had to find a different way of getting my templates onto a printable format. So I will show you how to do that on a Mac. Again, if you've got other devices, I don't know how that works. I have used Word to design it as well. And you can use, if you go onto the Avery website, which I'll leave a link for below, they have some pre-formatted templates. We'll talk you through that as well, so that you can see what's available. And they're quite useful for formatting the size of your labels. So again, I'm designing for the 2-inch wide piece of twill tape. If you want to do a different size, that's up to you. I will show you the different things that are available, the different sizes that are available. So I will be designing mine in Canva, and I will show you how to do that. And my printer is an Epson, it's an ET2750. Again, I can't speak for any other kind of printers. I can only speak for the printer that I've used. I've specified on those transfers that it needs to be an inkjet, not a laser. So be it on your head if you want to try and use a laser. I don't know how you would do it with a laser. As for its durability, I'm assuming if they are advertising that this can be put onto a t-shirt, that they will wash well. It does give you warnings on the back, and it says wait 24 hours before washing the garment. Wash in a washing machine using a full spin cycle. Do not tumble dry. And that's in capital red letters, do not tumble dry. Because what I think, and my past experience from wearing t-shirts in the past with transfer is anything tumble dry heats it up, and it will cause it to the design to disintegrate. So don't put it in a tumble dryer. And it says not suitable for hand washing, which I think that's really, I'm really surprised about that. Not suitable for hand washing or delicate cycles. And it says, this is assuming that you're doing a t-shirt, turn it inside out before washing it. And it says try not to iron on the printed image again once it's been set in. use it as a label, you wouldn't iron a label anyway, but I would have thought that was quite obvious not to put an iron over it. I've never ironed over a transfer. But I cannot vouch for how durable it is once it's gone into the wash, whether it fades or not, because the one that I made has been made as a gift for somebody. It's only just been given to him, so it's unlikely that it's been washed, and so I don't know how durable these are. So I hope that answers any questions before we go into the video. If you've got any comments or if you've got any insights, please leave comments below, and I will get onto the sharing my computer screen now and show you how I went about designing this particular label. And I will give you a couple of options as well if you don't want, obviously that was my label, so you're not going to want the same wording, but there are different options as well where you can use standard designs and just put your own little, put what you wanted to say inside as well. So onto the video. So you need to log yourself into Canva. It is a free to use design site, and I'm just typing in label there, and just choose the label that's closest to your particular label that you're using. You can use any of these pre-formatted designs or the blank, which I'm choosing for this particular one. So I'm now going to go on and copy and screenshot this logo. This is just a football team, and upload it onto Canva just by pressing that upload there. I've already actually got it saved there, and it will put it into the middle of your design. You can move that about to wherever you want it, and then just choose whatever text you want. I'm using this title and heading because it's quite strong and bold, and you can just mess about with it for whatever size that you want, move it about wherever you want, and you can actually change the font as well if you like, and just type in whatever you want there. I wouldn't suggest going for anything too fancy. You want something that's going to be clear, because remember you're working with something quite small effectively. So I'm just typing in my personal message here, and then you can change the colour of the font if you want, or you can change the actual font itself if you want to do that. So here I'm showing you that you can change the colour. I've changed it to red, but a nice little feature is that you can change it to the colours that are actually within that logo there. So that's the same blue that's within that logo, and you can change that. You can actually change the background of your design as well, but I actually wouldn't suggest this because you're actually using up more ink, and it loses its impact somewhat if you do that. There's up at the top there, there's the undo, that you can undo anything that you don't want. Top right here, you just download that now onto your computer. I'm just changing it to JPEG. You'll use whatever you prefer to download it as. So you need to then re-upload your logo back onto Canva, because you can't actually flip it until it's been downloaded and uploaded back again. So that's what I'm doing here, just re-uploading it back into Canva. And I have to do this because I can't do this either on my printer, or I don't have Word on my computer either. So once it's re-uploaded, then you will see you've got the flip option on there. So once you've flipped it, you need to flip it horizontally and download it again onto your computer. Love how you can do it on OneDrive in Microsoft. There's a flip function there in the crop and rotate section, which you can save without having to do this on Canva, or in Word you can just go to page and layout and rotate it where the big blue arrows are. So I've used the Avery website here to design the formatting for the labels. You can actually sign up for free, and that will save your projects, makes it a little bit easier, but you don't have to do that. So again, try and find a label that's something like what you are looking for. You might not find one exactly. I found this L7125 to be a good fit. It's in millimetres, but if you just click on that, it will give you that green option there. And then again, you've got a blank canvas or all these designs that you can choose from. This one today, we're just going to use this blank canvas and transport this Canva design into it, and you can actually do all the labels on that sheet. There are 40 on this particular one, or just one. So you just upload this image that you've saved from Canva back into Avery, and you just need to get it to something like the size that you want it to be. Again, just play about with it until you get it to something like what you want it to be. The reason that I do it like this is that you can't actually flip it in Avery. Avery's got some quite nice design features, but you just can't flip it because it's just designed for sticky labels. It's not really designed for what we're doing here today. So I'm just making it as big as I possibly can. It's got guidelines on there, and down in the bottom there you can just tell it to save your design, and here it is with all 40 labels exactly the same. Now I don't want 40 labels that have got these united on, so we need to change that to just one label, or however you want to do it. So I'm just going back now to customize it, but that's how you would do it if you want all of them the same. So I'm just going to show you now how you can use the Avery website to design something within that. If you've got the facility either on your printer or your computer where you can actually do the flip feature, you can select one of their pre-formatted designs here and just change the text or change whatever you like to say something that you prefer, and use that instead of using the Canva. But you will definitely need to be able to have the facility to flip your design for this transfer paper. Otherwise you could do it all in this Avery website and not use the Canva at all. So this is another design that I've done in Canva and flipped, and I'm just going to show you how you can print this without having to print all the labels, just so in case you don't want everything printing. So you can actually change what you do, what you eliminate, just by clicking these squares on your right. It takes out what you don't want to print, so you're not actually using a full sheet if you don't want to, and then you just need to save your design and put that onto your printer. So I will show you now how to put the paper through the printer. Okay, so I'm using the Epson ET2750, and my paper goes in here, and the paper that I'm using is the transfer paper. from Market. It's got a bit missing from the previous one, but I want to reuse it. And you put in your printing onto your glossy side. This particular one is quite obvious where you're printing because you've got the watermark on the back. So you want your glossy side up. That's the bit that wants to be printed on. I'm hoping this is going to go through with that cut out. We'll see. And there we have it. Okay, so the first step is to just iron whatever you're ironing on your transfer onto. Just make sure it's flat. Take your transfer, and you want the image down towards. You want the image facing the twill tape. I'm going to do my fold now. I want it at about an inch so that I get it in the right position, and make sure that it's the right way up, so you've got the hand wash with care at the top. And if it is a label that you're doing, make sure that you're leaving yourself enough room here to sew it into whatever you're sewing it into. Make sure you've got it straight and central. Switch off your steam. Just give it some firm pressure. Now it says for a t-shirt you need to be pressing it for 4 to 5 minutes. Obviously with something this small you don't need to. It just needs to be relative to that 4 to 5 minutes. So I'm going to give it a really good 30 seconds. And if you whip it off really quickly, you've got a dull finish like that. If you leave it on to cool, it will give you a glossy finish. So it's up to you how you want your finish. Another step is to use this silicone, and that sets in the design. And you just apply it over your design for about 40 seconds. Peel it off. And that should make it a little bit more durable. So once you've printed and pressed your, you pressed your labels onto your tape or whatever you're printing them onto, you just need to cut them down and sew them into your project. And there you have it. So as you can tell, I'm no graphic designer, but I think Canva sort of does most of it for you. The ones on Avery, I would say, are clearer. Those are the ones that I did on Avery, and I think the wording's a lot clearer on there than they are on Canva. These smaller ones that I designed on Canva, once I did a test print, that's too small to read on any label really. So I abandoned that idea, and while I thought that was pretty, again, it's too small to read really. It needs to be a little bit bigger, and I couldn't get it any bigger on the Avery labels, and you really need the Avery grid to be able to get them printed off. I mean, you can do a one-off. You can do a one-off, but if you're doing quite a few, you really want the Avery grid to get them all in line like that. So I think the Avery labels are good. And if you've got a printer that you can, you've got a command in it where you can mirror the image so that it will print the wrong way around, it will flip it. Or if you've got Word on your computer where you can flip it, I think they're quite good enough. So hopefully you've got enough tips and advice on there to be able to do your own labels now, and you can put whatever you like on there. I've just did those for a bit of an experiment, really. I would strongly recommend that you do a pre-print first, just to make sure that you can see the design's going to work. And this one where I did it in black and white accidentally, so things like that, you just do a pre-print. The idea of me missing a gap there was that you could cut a long strip and iron it all on if you so wished. It does say to sort of trim it with about a 5mm margin around each design. You could just iron that straight onto a full strip like that, and you get several labels all at once. Or alternatively, you could do a different design underneath there. So you could have your logo on there and then your hand washing details on there, but you would need to remember that not only would that need to be flipped horizontally, it would need to be upside down as well, because it needs to be upside down as well so that you can read it when you flip it up. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. Let me know below if this is something that you're going to give a go at, and let me know below also if you've got some other ways of doing it, or any insights that you want to share with everybody. I want this to be like a two-way conversation, and I do enjoy reading people's comments. So you know, if you've got any useful insights onto how durable these labels are, perhaps if you've used it before, or of how to preserve them, how to make sure that they don't get spoilt. I would imagine if you're going to be using them for craft items and not garments, then they're not going to get washed anyway. I hope you found it useful, and I will speak to you later. Thank you for watching, and I will speak to you later. Bye.